All right, good morning, YouTube. Today we're going to do my follow-up video regarding Army basic training in 2026, okay? Again, this is going to be similar to my last video. It's going to be super long form. I'm just going to sit here and chat. I'm not going to really edit anything out or do anything like that. So we're just going to start from, we'll cover a little bit of reception, what it's going to be like. We'll cover a little bit of red phase, but we're going to jump into mostly white phase, blue phase, and then your AIT or OSUT portion, specifically if you're a 12 Bravo. So if you don't know, you can go check out my channel and go to my last video. It covered, because I went on holiday block leave just after red phase. So it covered reception pretty in depth, and then a brief snippet of red phase. And I kind of ended the video there, but some decent content. I think it's about an hour and some change long. Today's probably going to be about the same, maybe longer. What I'm going to do is I've got a folder or a notebook here. This is where I kept track of everything that we did throughout basic training or OSUT. So I'll just pretty much go day by day, tell you kind of what we did, give you some tips, give you some advice, what to expect, okay? So firstly, we'll touch back on reception. You're gonna pull up to your USO whenever you get there. You'll leave sometime around 11 o'clock at night. Drill sergeants will come in, or cadre will come in and pick you up. They'll usher you out in formation. You'll stand there. You'll read off your name and your roster number or whatever. You'll get on a bus. You'll go about however long. For Fort Leonard Wood, it was 2 hours from the Missouri or St. Louis airport to Fort Leonard Wood. It's about 2 hours. I pretty much slept the whole time, but this will be the last chance you get your phone. So if you can, try to contact your family. Let them know that it's about to go down. You'll be MIA for a few days at the very least. So when you get to reception, you'll get there probably 2 a.m., give or take. You'll do some paperwork. You'll make your final phone call. You'll put your phone in a little bag. They'll confiscate everyone's phones. You'll do your amnesty thing where if you have any contraband or nicotine or anything like that, you'll dump it in this box. You'll get issued like your PTs. You wear your PTs your first night. You'll get issued some linen for bed. And you may be able to go to sleep that night. I didn't. We finished all this, preliminary stuff right before chow. So once we got done, we went to chow straight away. Reception really sucks, and I'm just going to put it like that. There's plenty of videos on reception. You can go watch my last video where there's lots of guys making videos about what reception is like. You'll get issued a lot of stuff there, but you'll get issued most of your stuff during week 1 or 2 of red phase when you get to your unit, or your company, rather. So reception is a lot of downtime. Read your blue book. Read the important stuff. I think it's got like a red star in it, I believe. Try to read through some of that stuff, like your general orders, the Army song, Soldier's Creed. These are all important things they're going to quiz you on throughout your time at reception and through OSUT. So get ahead of the game, know those things. Make some friends. That's probably my biggest piece of advice there, is make some friends, because most of these people, or at least some of them, you're going to be with through basic. They might even end up in your platoon. And it just helps to have friends all throughout basic. You want to have people that you can connect with and kind of pick each other up as you go through, okay? Now, we'll skip through reception because, like I said, I covered most of it in the last video. I'm pretty in depth. So, your red phase. Red phase, when you get there, you're going to do a bag dump, inventory. They're going to check all your stuff, make sure you got everything you need. Piece of advice is pack all through OSUT. Stay organized. Keep your stuff nice and neat everywhere. In your locker, when you're going on an FTX. Keep everything nice and neat. Learn how to ranger roll your stuff. That way it's all organized, and it'll save you time in the long run, especially because in red phase, they're going to rush you every single place you go. So you want to be organized, prepared for these quick movements. So you'll get your phone at reception on Sunday. And then the following week, if you're going to Fort Leonard Wood, if you're a 12 Bravo, you're going to ship out on probably a Wednesday. That's when everyone ships out. So you'll get there on Wednesday. You'll go through your shark attack. We did have a shark attack at Fort Leonard Wood, especially at my company. I don't know about every other company, but it wasn't anything crazy. The shark attack is exactly what they plan it to be. So the reason it's called shark attack is because when sharks smell blood in the water, they're going to attack that prey. Okay? So if you're not walking or ate the fuck up, your uniform doesn't look goofy as fuck, they're going to leave you alone. Okay? So when you get there, do the right thing, do exactly what the fuck they say. Don't do anything more, don't do anything less. Okay? So they had us run probably 100 meters to where our company formation was with our duffel. So we did that. I ran. There were some guys walking already, and that's who they targeted. So I didn't have anyone say anything to me throughout pretty much all of OSUT, and I'll tell you why later. But you'll get information. They'll give you your patch based on what platoon you are. So they'll walk around with like a black or blue or white or whatever color they have. My platoon was Blackbeards. We had a black patch. It's just a little circle patch. They'll stick it on you. They'll tell you, all right, look at your shoulder. If you've got a black dot, you're going to go over here and form up. If you've got a white dot, you're going to go over here and form up, so on and so forth. You'll form up into your platoon formations. They will probably introduce the cadre at that point, and then they'll do your inventory. They'll make you dump everything out, go through it, just hold 5 pairs of green socks up, hold 7 tan tees up, or whatever. Make sure you have everything. If you lost anything in reception, it's not a big deal. Try to keep up with everything, though, especially like your fucking uniforms. But keep up with your shit. People will steal stuff. Luckily, my platoon was pretty squared away. We didn't really have any thieves, maybe a couple times here or there, but nothing serious. Okay, so when you get to basic, and after that, week 0, I really don't remember much about week 0. I remember they woke us up 4 a.m. We had these morning drills, so they would have you toe the line, and basically there's a kill zone around your base. So your base is going to look like this. It's going to have a kill zone here. It's a square or a rectangle. And then you're going to have bunks on either side, okay? Then you're going to have your door for your stairwell and your door for like the cadre center stairwell. You won't ever use that unless you're going to the classroom. So, excuse the background noise. So you'll toe the line. They'll bust in there. They'll say toe the line. You'll count down 10, 9, 8. You'll get on the line. No one's going to make it, or there's going to be someone not making it to the line by 10 seconds. It's just going to happen every day. So you'll get used to that. Your biggest downfall in OSUT will be your battle buddies. There will be guys throughout the entire process that never can do the right thing or never keep up, and that's fine. That's part of the game. So play the game. You're going to toe the line. They're going to say, all right, go secure OCP top. Go secure your OCP bottoms. Go secure your hygiene kit. And they're going to give you a hit time for every single item. You're going to miss the hit time almost every time. And they're going to have you do push-ups. They're going to have you do Y squat or whatever they want you to do, okay? So you're going to get smoked every morning through red phase. At least at my company, we had red phase for the first, like we had the morning drills, all through red phase. It never ended. And I'm pretty sure that's standard. I don't know. But you'll get smoked every morning, just a little bit, nothing too crazy. I recommend you push yourself. If you're really out of shape, maybe take it a little easy so you can avoid soreness. But if you're pretty decent shape, push yourself and embrace the soreness because you'll benefit from it, okay? You'll gain a little muscle and you'll lose some fat. It's good for you. So after these morning drills, they'll give you a hit time for shaving and whatnot. You'll miss it, and they'll smoke you some more. So just get used to it, and then they'll tell you what you're going to do. All through red phase is pretty much every single moment of your day is going to be dictated by the cadre. You're going to have no freedom to make decisions or to be late. You will be on time everywhere you go because they're going to be right there beside you. So, excuse me. So you'll do stuff. They do this thing called yellow phase. We didn't ever call it yellow phase, but that's what it is. So the first week 0 and a little bit into week 1, you're going to do briefs on sharp, on all sorts of stuff. I don't even remember all the different abbreviations that the military uses for these different um, components, but you'll do briefs on everything from, hey, your drill sergeants can't do this to you, they can't do that to you, so if you see it, tell me. Don't sexually harass one another. Um, all sorts of stuff, suicide prevention, everything. So you'll do briefs, and that's probably the worst part of OSUT, if I had to choose one, because the time drags on, because you're just sitting in a fucking classroom in the position of attention for hours on end, and you'll take breaks to go utilize the latrine, or you'll take breaks to go eat chow. But for the most part, week 0 and most of week 1 or some of week 1 is going to be these briefs, and they're going to be absolutely the worst part of OSUT. And hopefully you have a decent cadre that will communicate this stuff to you. Like our cadre told us, like, this is going to be the worst part. Get through this. Basic training is going to fly by, and you'll pick up speed. Okay, and basic training will be what you make of it. So, anyways, we'll skip through yellow phase because it's boring, and other people have videos on this too. So if I miss anything, go check out some other guys, and they'll explain some of this stuff a little better. They're a little more organized than me, but all I've got's a fucking notebook, so that's what we'll use. All right, so like I said, my last video covered a lot of the shit I'm about to tell you, so I'm going to skim through it, if you will, okay? So week 1, we went to church every Sunday. I think it's a good thing. Find your religious service that you prefer and go to church. It'll help break up the weeks a little bit and give you like a checkpoint, if you will. All right, we went to church again. We have 8 more churches and we're done. So, week 1, I'm just going to skim through this real quick, okay? Monday, a lot of briefs. Tuesday, we got our CIF gear. That's where you'll get your rucksack, your assault pack, canteens, all the stuff you need, really. Everything you get, or everything you need, you'll get. You'll get your cold weather gear, all that stuff. Wednesday, we did a mental health test. Let me pause there. I went during a winter cycle. I highly recommend you try to go during a summer cycle. The winter cycle, and you'll see it throughout the video, I'll make comments, the winter cycle sucks. Everything you do is harder because of the cold, and everything you do is not fun. All the fun shit that you should be, all the shit you do that should be fun is no longer fun because it's 20 degrees outside. Okay? So we did a mental health test. We finally got to make our lockers. So the first week, we didn't have locker organization. We weren't allotted time to do that. Actually, one night we got up right after lights out. We were all trying to organize our lockers, and they came in and said, "Why the fuck are you up?" Flipped the lights on, smoked the shit out of us. Say, "Go to fucking bed." Okay, so after the mental health test before that morning, we did a 2-mile ruck with no weight. So we just had our camelback and our flick, I think, and we rucked just to kind of get our feet worked in. Then we had Thanksgiving. We did a practice AFT that Friday. Saturday we did combatives. So some companies did combatives throughout their entire time. Like that would be part of your PRT in the morning, would be combatives. We didn't do that ever. We just had one combatives tournament. Tournament, if you will. It was pretty fun. That was sick. I've trained jiu-jitsu for several years. I think 5, almost 6 years now. So I had a good time. It was fun. We did a little bit of land nav, just touching base on what land nav was, which I think is super fun too. That Sunday, we went to the troop store, got our first haircut. That Monday, the next Monday, this is December 1st, we did some land nav and IED classes. We cleaned the barracks. It snowed, so there was no training outside. So they're finding shit for you to do inside. I think we went outside and cleaned up trash too, and we shoveled a lot of snow. If it snows, you're gonna shovel all the fucking snow off the road, all around your company footprint. Okay, so then the second week 0, week 1, week 2, we did first aid that Friday, or that Wednesday through Friday. First aid, if you're interested in it, which you should be, because everyone needs to know first aid, it's okay, but they find a way to make it boring as fuck. Okay, and you'll have a lot of people fuck off and fall asleep, and you'll get smoked for that. But day one was like tourniquets. Day two, I think, was like your gunshot wound care. I forget the acronym off the top of my head. I have everything wrote down in my notebook, so I'll study. But then day three, we did our buddy drags. So you learned TCCC, okay, Tactical Combat Casualty Care. And you'll use this throughout all of basic because trainees will wind up dead, and either in your FTX or just while you're out, and you'll need to perform TCCC, okay? Excuse me. Then we were issued our rifles on week 2. We did community service twice that week. So basically went out and we raked up leaves for probably 5 hours. Sucked, freezing cold. And it's super windy in Fort Leonard Wood. If you're going to Fort Leonard Wood, I beg you to go during the summer. The winter, I'm telling you, is brutal. Okay? Sundays are pretty much an off day, no training day. Drill sergeants would always say, you don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you. So as long as you do everything right, which you won't, they'll pretty much leave you alone. Okay, that Monday, December 8th, we did a CBurn class and gas chamber. I'll touch on the gas chamber because that's a big event for a lot of people. It's fine. The gas chamber is not anything to worry about whatsoever. I will say this. From what I noticed, there was 2 different reactions to the gas, okay? So some people, like me, didn't have... my only reaction was my eyes, my nose, and my mouth just spewed liquid, okay? So fluids just came out of my face. So you go in, you're going to have your mask sealed already, okay? You're going to sit there and you're going to do some exercises just to make sure your seal's locked up. And you'll start smelling the gas, but it won't be doing anything to you, but you'll smell it through your mask. Then they'll have you break your seal, lift your mask over your head, open your eyes. You're holding your breath during this. You're going to close your mask. Once they come through and check everybody, you're going to close your mask, re-seal, and then make sure that you know how to re-seal your mask when it does come off in a combat situation. Pay attention, because my guy next to me fucked that up, and when he lifted his mask up, he breathed, and then he put it back in, and he was already choking. So then you've got another 10 seconds to bear choking with your mask on when you could have avoided that. So after that, they'll once everybody's cleared their mask, you'll take your mask off and you'll hold it over your head, and they'll instruct you to breathe. And once everyone is breathing and coughing, then they'll have you file out, and you'll go outside and you'll do a couple laps around the pit, and then you'll go form back up. So, like I said, my reaction was just all the fluids in my face poured out. So when I lifted my mask up, I just started coughing and spitting and snotting and everything. My eyes were watering real bad. But some folks had like an asphyxiation effect, so they felt choked up as if they couldn't breathe, right? So be wary of that. It may suck more for others than it will for you, and vice versa, but everyone made it out just fine. Not a single person even threw up, okay? Everyone was just fine. So a lot of people worry about that. I wasn't too worried about that going in, but it wasn't bad at all. Kind of fun. I'd rather do that again than some of the other events we did. So the next day we did the rappel tower. Now this is where I struggled because I'm a little, I won't say that word. I'm fearful of heights, okay? So I did it, but you climb up the rappel tower. It's just a wooden beams that you climb up, okay? You climb up, I think they said it was 40 feet, but I feel like it was higher than that. I don't know. You get up there and you crawl on your hands until you, so there's like a level 1 here. So you climb up here, you crawl on your hands, and you get in a line, and you'll climb up some stairs, and you'll crawl over to the actual rappel zone. You'll have already built your knot, and they will have tested your Swiss seat to make sure that you're secure and that you're going to have a comfortable sort of ride down the tower. And again, it's freezing fucking cold and super windy. So that whole day we were outside, it sucked so bad. So you get up there, and I was literally shaking because I'm so scared. But you have no choice but to do it. You will do that. And if you are a little sissy when you're going down, you will do it again until you go down properly and effectively. So I went down. When you get up there, you're gonna have your rope, your harness, and you'll be looking down. They're gonna talk to you like, all right, you know how to do it, right? And you have gone over this all morning on what to do. Make sure you're safe. They'll have demonstrated it for you. They'll have shown you, and then they will reiterate it while you're up there. So you'll be holding it like this, and you'll have this hand behind you. So this is the one that's going to pull out your rope to give you slack to slide down, and it's going to be your stopping hand. This is just a guiding hand. So you'll jump, and you'll pull this arm out, and that's what's going to give you the slack to fall down. Have fun with it, because once I got about halfway down, I was like, this is awesome. And by that time, I'd only had like 1 or 2 more jumps left. The first couple jumps, I was like, because I was so scared. Drill sergeants are going to make fun of you. They're going to fuck with you a little bit up there. It's part of it. But that's the scariest part, is getting that first L shape when you're like falling back and you're looking down and you're just flat you're parallel to the surface. Like, fuck. But it's not bad at all. Have fun with it. You guys that aren't scared of heights, which there's a lot of you, I'm sure, you're going to have a lot of fun with that. Okay. Then the next day we did our comms class. That was a pretty cool class. We had a good instructor. So you learn your 9-line medevac. Low flying pilots eat tacos, so make nachos. That's an acronym to help you remember it. You will use that throughout basic training or OSUT for part of your field exercises. Okay, so then we did our hammer. So this is marking the end of red phase, is your hammer FTX field training exercise. That includes a 5-mile ruck. Then you'll go out somewhere in the woods, wherever they have your bivvy zone planned. You'll sleep outside one night, and then you will probably take a bus back home the next morning. So use this for every FTX. Pack your ruck very well. The way I do it is I put my heavy stuff on the bottom. People have told me different things, but my drill sergeant, who I respected a lot, told me heavy stuff on the bottom, light stuff on top. The rucksack they give you is pretty cool. It's got a zipper on the bottom, so you can pull stuff out of there. And it's got pouches all over it for your cold weather gear that you need to have quick access to. Hopefully your cadre will help you pack the first time, to kind of give you an idea of what you should do every time. The hammer was okay. It was, I think, like 7 degrees that night when we slept, is what the cadre said. So it was really fucking cold. And the bivvy that they give you will keep you warm. Warm enough, at least. In the winter, at least, you don't have to deal with any insects or critters or anything like that, bugs. So I will say that is good, because I hate fucking insects. I hate ticks, all that shit. So snakes, I hate them. But in Fort Leonard Wood, they do have lots of snakes. So if you go in the summer, be prepared for that. But you'll do some battle drills throughout the day. They'll teach you some of the battle drills. They'll have you run some training events like Battle Drill 1 Alpha, where you're flanking around, you're cleaning up the position, and then you're doing your EPW and your first aid, and you'll probably perform first aid on some of your falling teammates. So it's pretty fun. Like I said, the cold ruins everything, and it was freezing fucking cold that day. So it was so cold throughout all of our FTXs, we didn't get to wear face paint, because if you have the face paint on, you can't identify hypothermia as easy. So when we were back for the hammer, we scheduled our tickets for HBL. That took probably 6 hours. That was also boring. You'll be surprised how fucking bored you get in OSUT sometimes, okay? You'll sit around and do nothing for hours and hours and hours on end. Okay, so Saturday we phased up into white phase. That was the hallelujah moment, because white phase is a major stepping stone in how your day-to-day life is going to be in OSUT. So, like I told you, in red phase, you're going to wake up to them kicking in the door and screaming at you every morning. In white phase, as long as you behave, and from there on, you should have them come over the intercom to wake you up. They'll tell you the uniform of the day. And vice versa with going to bed. I forgot to mention this. I think I said it in my last video. At night in red phase, they did shower drills. For me, they did shower drills all through red phase. So basically, you will do what you do in the morning, where they tell you to toe the line and secure one article of gear or hygiene kit at a time, and they'll give you hit time and you'll miss it. You'll go shower, they'll give, all right, top bunks, face latrine, you got 5 minutes, go. You won't make it in 5 minutes. And some people won't even shower to try to miss the hit time. Or to try to make the hit time, I mean. And you'll get smoked. So every night you're fucking sweating before you go to bed. It is what it is. You'll get used to it and you won't care anymore. Okay, then we did our ETS shooting qual. So this is the simulator that you've seen, I'm sure, where you're in a room and it's got these screens and you're shooting at them in the position that you will use when you're qualifying on your rifle. It's good for muscle memory. The machine's not super accurate, but it's good for muscle memory to, one, learn how to, when I'm changing positions, switch to safe, change the position. You're going to shoot one shot standing, you go to prone, supported, you move over to prone, unsupported, you go to kneeling, then you'll go to standing, supported. And you'll shoot 10 rounds per position minus the standing. The first shot is going to be unsupported standing, 1 round safety, go down to the prone supported. You have 9 shots. Then you'll have 10, 10, 10, okay? Little tip, you probably won't even remember this, but maybe your cadre will be cool and they'll tell you this. You'll have your magazines on your foot. Your first magazine is going to be in your hand. That's the one you're going to shove in when you go to shoot standing, unsupported. Your second magazine, leave it on the ground next to the sandbag where you can grab it. So you'll shoot your 9 shots supported, right? You'll drop the mag, you'll grab the magazine that's already on the ground, switch it for your prone unsupported. Because a lot of guys would shoot their prone supported 9 rounds. Then they'd have to roll over on their side, reach into their flick, fuck with it, get the magazine out. These targets pop up and go down in a certain time. If you're not quick, you'll miss that, and you'll miss a target or 3. Okay, so if you remember this, please try to, when you see it, be like, oh, that guy on YouTube fucking told me leave a magazine on the sandbag so that when I switch to my prone unsupported, the magazine's there. I don't have to reach in my flick. Okay. Anyways, I'm off track. So this was the week before we went to holiday block leave. So it was pretty much a void week. Nothing counted. We went to the range. We did our 0. So you shoot at a 25-meter target. And this is just to 0 your weapon. So take it serious, because the longer you're out there, the colder it is. It's going to suck. Or the hotter it is, whatever. But, yeah, you shoot. I think they gave us 40 rounds, but I zeroed in like 20 or something, so 2 magazines. Also, tip here, if they ever ask, especially in whiteface, like, I need 5 for tomorrow, it's probably range detail, and I recommend you sign up for it, because range detail, at least for me, made the days go by super fast. You wake up and you get to skip the PT, which if you're fat, do the fucking PT, you need it, but you get to skip the PT, and then you'll go do range detail all day. That'll make the day go by really fast because you're busy all day. Okay, so after HBL, so all this stuff that I'm about to tell you was not included in my last video. So if you have any questions about what I said or what I'm about to say, just hit me up in the comments. I'll respond to every single one. I'm chronically online, okay? All right, so HBL was great. But this is another reason I recommend going during a summer cycle, because the first night back from HBL, I cried. And it was the only time, well, actually the day after I got back. I've never cried during OSUT. I don't have children, but I am married, and I love my wife, and I love my home, and I love my little dogs. And HBL was great because you get to spend that time with them for Christmas and New Year's. But then you go back and you've got 11 weeks left. Really hits you, okay? So I got back at 1 a.m. to my battalion. We woke up at 6. It was a light wake up, so they just went over the intercom because they knew people got back all throughout the night. Pretty much did nothing that day. They kind of just let us chill out. But I cried because I had a lot of bay time that day. And I sat there reading letters that I had got previously from my wife, and it was really fucking sad. Okay, right back into it. Okay, we go into white phase. We're finishing white phase now. We did a Loma range. I can't remember. I want to say it's like 250 meters you're shooting at, but this is cool. This range is cool because it's an electronic targeting system. So you're shooting at this target, and there's going to be a another trainee behind you on a computer, and he's going to be able to see where your shots are. Loma stands for location of misses. Fuck, I can't remember. I remembered it before while I was practicing this YouTube video. Fuck, I can't remember what it stands for, but it's Loma. Oh, location of misses and hits. LOMAH. Okay, so he's gonna be able to tell you where you're shooting. They may adjust your weapon some more, like they're zeroing it again, but you're shooting I think 200 or 250, and then if you shoot pretty well, I think it's like 8 shots consecutively on target. The 300-meter target's gonna pop up, and you'll get to practice that some too. They're all from the prone supported, so it's basically another zero range. And then we did the EST again. Then we did our weapons qual. White phase was probably the worst phase, if I had to say so. I'd rather do red phase. Red phase, you're busy all the time. You're doing stuff. You're getting smoked more, sure, but at least you're busy all the time. White phase was so much downtime. Especially you go to the rain. Your day looks like this. My company did PT every single morning. We never missed a day except for Sundays. So we'd wake up at 4. We'd be downstairs in formation by 4:30. We'd do PT for an hour or whatever it is. Then we go to chow. We go upstairs. We change. We go to chow. Come back from chow. Get our weapons. Go to trans. Ride the bus to the range. Be there by 7 or some shit. Spend all day on the fucking range. All day long. Then we'd go home at like 3 or 4, and we'd do nothing the rest of the day. Sucked. When you're at the range, you're going to have the people who aren't shooting up in the bleachers or standing in formation, and you're going to get smoked all the time because you're going to talk because you're sitting there for hours on end, and the drill sergeant's going to come over and be like, why the fuck are we talking? And they're going to smoke you. Okay, then it snowed again for me. So we did nothing for 2 days again. I think church was even canceled because it snowed. Then we did weapons qual again. Weapons qual again. Then we went back to the Loma range. So you'll realize this. There's 2 factors here. 1, some people can't fucking shoot to save their life. And then 2, the ranges, at least at Fort Leonard Wood, were pretty shit. Some of the targets don't go down when you shoot them. Some of the targets have so many holes in them that you're hitting the fucking holes in the target and it's not registering. So you may be one of the people that has to qualify multiple times. That's okay. Nothing to be ashamed of. You will fucking, at least at my company, every single person qualified eventually. They had us go until we didn't. So this is my notebook here for the latter half of basic training. I skipped a few weeks here because I was so locked in, right? Okay, so we get to pretty much every day in white phase is going to be the range. We get to our anvil. Our anvil was somewhere in the negatives because of wind chill, so we didn't even get to sleep outside during the anvil. We just did land nav, and then it snowed the next day. So we did land nav. Land nav is super, super fun. Now, again, it was freezing cold for us, so that sucked. And they never let you wear the proper cold weather gear. Now, the Army does have regulations on what you should be wearing based on how cold it is to include the wind chill, right? Well, no, fuck off. You will wear the absolute bare minimum. So, like, you get a wet weather top, right? It's Gore-Tex top. Wet weather. That's what we wore all the fucking time. Not cold weather top. It's a wet weather top. Does nothing. Anyways, so for the anvil, I was freezing cold. Buy hand warmers. If you go in the winter, have your family send you hand warmers. Anyways, land nav was super fun. You get 3 hours to go out and plot these points. I think we were in a team of 5, maybe. You get 3 hours to go plot these points, and it was super fun. We got it. We got all 5 points. You pretty much just go out on your own. Drill sergeants are walking around the woods to make sure no one's doing anything crazy, but you're on your own. It was a lot of fun, minus the cold. Snow day, snow day. Every phase up, we did a test, right? So we did like a test on some of the shit you learned. So for the red phase test, I forgot to mention this, I believe. It was, who's your company commander, who's your battalion commander, who's your company sergeant or battalion sergeant major, who's your platoon sergeant, who's the EO rep, the sharp rep, what is your 5th line of the 9-line medevac, what is all sorts of shit. How many paces does an officer need to be to saluting? All this shit. Well, I was the only person to get a 100 in the whole company on the test, right? So they made me the platoon guide for the first 2 or 3 weeks. When we came back, my platoon sergeant wanted the PG to be someone that didn't talk a lot, that was shy, so he could help build up their leadership skills, get them in front of the platoon, and do that kind of stuff. So they switched it up every 2 or 3 weeks throughout all of OSUT, which I think was lame, but I didn't really enjoy being PG because I couldn't sit in formation with all my friends, so I didn't mind it. Anyways, so every phase up you do a test. We did based on what you did last phase. So we did a white phase test. We took our first AFT. AFT's fun. It's a fun day because you have no PT the day before, and AFT's fun, man. You get to see where you stand in the grand scheme of things and push yourself on that AFT. You'll get 2 or 3 throughout OSUT, and then you'll take one when you get to a unit, apparently. Okay, so then we're into blue phase. Blue phase was pretty cool. Again, everything sucked because it was freezing cold. We did our buddy team live fire. So basically, what a buddy team live fire is, and you'll train this with blanks, but you'll have 2 guys, okay? And contact. You're shooting down range. Cover me while I move, battle buddy. I got you covered, battle buddy. Moves up. I'm set, battle buddy. Cover me while I move, battle buddy. Moves up. Still laying down fire. I'm moving, battle. Cover me while I throw my grenade, battle buddy. Got you covered, battle buddy. Throws his grenade. Bang. Cover me while I throw my grenade, battle buddy. Throws his grenade. Bang. Then you're done. Okay. So, that's the buddy team live fire. You don't get to use a real grenade, or we didn't. What it is it's a steel ball with a fuse that goes in, tie it or you wind it down like you do a fucking light bulb, and then you throw that. You will twist, pull, you pop the clip, proper grip, pop the clip, twist and pull the pin, strike a pose, frag out. You'll practice that a lot before you actually do it because it is a high-risk training event. And you will use live ammunition. You'll use blanks at first, and then you'll use live rounds. You do that in full battle rattle, so you have your helmet, your plate carrier, your flick. Another pro tip, make sure your flick is properly set to, if you're wearing your plate carrier, when you're in the bay and you have time, put your plate carrier on, get your flick nice and tight and high up on your chest where it should be, and then if you're doing a ruck where you're not wearing it, put it on the night before, get it nice and tight to where it should be. That way you're comfortable when you do this stuff. Because the first FTX we did, the hammer, the ruck, my flick was like hanging down towards my hip, and it rubbed a fucking dry spot on my hip because where your rucksack waistband sits is right there on your hip. So anyways, little pro tip, try to do that. Make sure it's all nice and tight. You'd see guys looking ate the fuck up with their flick twisted up, running down their back. Don't do that. It's just uncomfortable and makes everything harder. Make it easy on yourself. Okay, buddy team live fire. The obstacle course for us got snowed out, so we did that in blue phase. The PEX, the physical endurance course. Something. That was fun. Again, it was snowing on the ground, so some of the obstacles were not usable, but that was fun. Basically, you run around as a platoon, and you do these different obstacles. There's all sorts of them, and then you'll have a couple people race around the obstacle, around the whole course. Again, half of them we didn't get to do because it was fucking snowing. literally it was like multiple inches of snow on the ground. Um, so it was really bad. Feet were soaking wet, freezing cold. So in the summer it'll be a lot more fun. Okay. Then we did our grenade range. The grenade range sucked because of the cold. So first of all, I was a range detail again. And this is the only time where I tell you in the winter, don't be range detail, because you throw 4 practice grenades, which are the steel balls with the fuse in them. Steel balls, so they're freezing cold. It was 2 degrees that morning. And you got the cadre standing there with their hand warmers on while you're building 300, 400 fuse grenades. And you can't articulate your fingers well with the gloves on. So you've got to take your gloves off to be able to actually get all this shit in there. And so that sucked. And it was really cold. And I'm pretty sure I had frostbite on my hands. They're fine though, so maybe I didn't. But then you throw 4 of these grenades. And then you get to go sit in a nice warm room. So I was like, me next, let me go. So I got to throw these 4 grenades. Basically, you just pop the pins on them, throw them out. They're heavier. The fuse ones are heavier and harder to pop the pin than the real grenade. Then you line up, and they'll take you 20, 30 trainees at a time. They'll put you in a bunker. You get to watch people throw some grenades. And then you go up. So you get 2 grenades, and you'll run up like this to your little bunker. It's a little shape like that, little horseshoe bunker. And the way they did it for us was they pull the pin, or they pop the clip for us. Then they would hand you the grenade, and you'd pull the pin, strike a pose, frag out, and then you'd get down, and then boom. And they're really cool. Grenades are really fun. I mean, they're really cool. I don't know about you guys, but they blow up. The explosion they make is way bigger than I thought it would be. I can't remember the range that they said. I think it was 25 meters. Could be severe injury. So they're pretty explosive. Okay, so let's get through basic here. So we started packing for our forge. The forge sucked for me. It was snowing all over the place for multiple days. So snow had been melting in places, so it was wet. So it was bad. It's a 10-mile ruck. The ruck was cool because you get better at rucking as you go. And I got to be one of the headlights with one of the drill sergeants, my favorite drill sergeant. And I can't tell if it was worse because of the snow, but we rucked through mountainous woodland terrain on roads, but not paved roads like dirt roads. But it was snowy, so you're stepping through the snow, which kind of makes it a little harder. It's like running in sand. Let me stop. If you get the opportunity, and unfortunately, if you're going in the summer, you won't have holiday block leave. But I had holiday block leave, so I was able to purchase any boot I want as long as it was compliant. The Rocky S2Vs, I think they're like almost $300. Let me tell you though, worth every fucking penny. Those boots I wore every FTX, except for the hammer, and they were amazing. Okay, they're thick, they're not too heavy, but they're not light. They're an FTX boot. They are made for hard shit like rucking and FTXs. Buy those. Buy you a pair of boots for running. I bought the Under Armour Charge loadouts like a tennis shoe. Okay, so those are the ones I wore around the garrison. Then I wore the Rockies for FTX events or range days where I was going to be on gravel or different terrain. Amazing, game changer. The issued boots, my homeboy, he wore the issued boots the whole time, and I don't know how the fuck he did it because I couldn't do it. They cause you major pain in your feet, in your knees, in your hips, in your femurs. They will induce stress fractures. Another tip, listen up. Drink milk often. I drink milk every chow. So you get 3 chows a day. You get 2 drinks, 2 cups. Fucking get milk every time. You need the calcium. Unless they're giving you calcium bars, which they did not for us. The night bars, they'll give them to you in reception, but they didn't give them to us in OSUT. It is what it is. Just drank a shit ton of milk. Okay, moving on. Once I get done with the day by day, I'm going to tell you some funny stories. some tips and tricks, some other stuff like that. Okay, I'll kind of break it up. But I'm just going to go day by day for now. 12 Bravos, listen up. I'm about to get to the 12 Bravo AIT portion. It'll be a lot of good info for you. Okay, so then we did our 10-mile ruck. We did the Forge. Forge was fun-ish. You did a bunch of battle drills. You did a bunch of missions. They would literally have like missions for you to run. I don't know, 300, 400 meters out to this mission point. You set up an ambush, all sorts of shit. Your boy, my squad, got put on the ambush team, the Op 4. Okay, so I had to lay in the snow for like 8 hours. No, it wasn't 8 hours, maybe 4 hours. Laid in the snow, waiting for these people to come by to ambush them, right? Well, I overheard the drill sergeant say this. The fucking whoever was running the mission got lost. And so we never saw anyone to ambush. Anyways, we missed lunch chow. I had to piss so bad. The drill sergeant wouldn't let me. So I'm laying, me and my homeboy are laying in this, it's like a natural foxhole. It was like a hole in the ground next to a tree, okay? It had a bunch of leaves in it. So what I did was I was like, just cover me for a second, bro. I pushed some leaves aside, like a little hole of leaves, and I pulled my thing through my pants, and I fucking laid like this while just peeing through the hole of my pants. And then I was like, oh, thank God I'm done. Rolled it up, pushed the leaves back over it, and so we sat there. Crazy shit you do in OSUT, man. And I'm sure when you're out with your actual unit and you're doing field training exercises, the same sort of stories happen. Okay. So yeah, the Forge is what it is. You run a lot of missions. You do a lot of shit. Shoot blanks. If you're like me, everything will suck way worse, and you're just trying to survive. If you're in the snow and the cold, just trying to survive because it's so cold. Boots were wet, so they actually sent us back to the barracks to sleep because they didn't want anyone getting trench foot or frostbite on their feet because your boots get soaking wet, and then it's difficult to dry your boots out, and you only have 2 pairs of boots. 3 days, you're gonna get the other pair wet, and you're gonna be in the same situation. So they sent us back to the bay. We all dried our feet up, cleaned our boots up, all that stuff. Okay, then we did Nick, not Nick at night. Nick, night infiltration course. Again, everything that should be fun sucks because of the cold. So you go to this, I can't remember how far it was, pretty far, little sand football field like thing, right? It's got barbed wire, it's got mortar emplacements, and you're going to low crawl. Once the sun goes down, you're going to get up and you're going to low crawl this course with flares going off, mortar rounds, sims going off, MG fire over your head with tracer rounds. Really cool. It is really cool. It sounds really cool. It looks really cool. But if you're there in the winter, the sand's going to be frozen. So it's like you're crawling on fucking rocks. So our Gore-Tex that we were wearing, it got all shredded up. Everyone's did. Well, most people's did, not everyone's. And your elbows are all bruised up because you're crawling on this hard, rocky sand. Then you get to the end, everyone's celebrating because, hey, you're a soldier now. And you're going to do this little ceremony where you're going to get your U.S. Army patch. You're going to shake your drill sergeant's hands. They're going to be real cool with you. But my senior drill sergeant was a prick. And so we were all celebrating. Okay, so second platoon drill sergeant goes over to second platoon. He's like, blah, 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 hyping him up. And they're like, yeah. They had this little saying like, do you want to quit? He's like, bitch, I'd rather die. And they're like, ah. So we started yelling our little saying, which our platoon was really quiet. Like our drill sergeant was not flamboyant at all. And we had a little saying that one of our drill sergeants gave us, and it was like, what makes the green grass grow? Bright red blood, drill sergeant, blood, bright red blood. Okay, so we did our little saying. Senior drill sergeant got pissed. He goes, you ain't fucking done shit. You're not shit. Shut the fuck up. Front line arrest position, move. And we're like, dude. So they find a way to fucking take the fun out of everything. So anyways, sucked. Everything fucking sucked for me because it was cold and miserable. All right, so then you do your little patching ceremony. Kind of lame, not gonna lie. If you're in OSUT, it's lame. If you're in basic, it's awesome because you're done. So then the next day, we're in AIT. Nothing changed. Not a single thing changed. Treated us the same the whole time. You go get your AGSUs fitted. Then you phased up to black phase, okay? We did a finance class. It's supposed to be 8 hours, but it wasn't that long. I think they cut it down. But that's a good class because there's a lot of information there, especially for you younger guys, that you can take advantage of, okay? So write down notes in that class. That's a good class. Okay, so we just got into our AIT portion, right? We're in black phase now, right? So we're soldiers now, essentially. We're not engineers yet, but we're soldiers. So some kids got caught writing love letters to each other. Fraternization, big deal in the military, at least in the TRADOC environment. So they caught these kids somehow. I don't know how. And we all got sent to the pit. The pit. It's at Fort Leonard Wood. I don't know about every other installation, but there's a massive tar pit. And you will crawl this motherfucker. You will buddy drag this motherfucker. You will IMT this motherfucker all the time. Okay? And it's eventually you get used to it. So we crawl the pit real bad this time. We did these things called, what were they called? Like POW crawls. So you're pretending like your hands are behind your back and you crawl on your shoulders like this all the way through the pit on your stomach. You also do these things called EOs. I don't even know what they stand for. I've trained jiu-jitsu forever, and I've never done this before, but we learned it in our combatives. So you're on your back and you're like rocking over with your shoulder blades, okay? And you're moving across. You do those. They're a really good ab workout, though, I will say. So, yeah. Okay, cool. So now we're in black phase now, right? No. They took our phase banner, and they said, you guys are going back to red phase because you can't fucking behave right. So they woke us up for the next week, kicking in our door, yelling at us. We don't get condiments in the DFAC anymore. All your privileges are taken away. Treating you like a red-faced trainee. Okay. That's the end of basic training. Okay. We're moving into AIT portion now, which in OSUT, nothing changes for you. You're going to just go straight into AIT. So again, I'm a 12 Bravo combat engineer. So 12 Bravos, listen up. Here you go. Cool shit you learn. Again, they find a way to make everything boring, but keep a good attitude. It'll be fun. Day one, we did our heavy week, the heavy demo range. So you're going to be blowing stuff up by the end of the week. I'm going to go sort of in detail about this shit because it's pretty cool. So 12 Bravos, here you go. Day one, we did knots. Demo knots, Uli knots, overhand knots. What you're going to do is you're going to tie together this system, this demolition system. You do a standalone and a combo demolition system. So you're going to tie knots to different devices. So you'll have a TNT block here, right? This chapstick is a TNT block. This will be your blasting cap. You'll put it in there. And you'll tape it. Then you'll run this line and you'll tie it into a det cord. That det cord is going to be tied in a circle like this with an overhand knot on one side to stop stuff from sliding off. Overhand knot. Then you're going to tie so you're going to have let me do this. So you're going to have a circle system like this, right? But you're going to tie a girth hitch with an extra turn on one side of that system. So as I do it, it's going to look like this. And you're going to slide it down to make this circle. Okay. Now this is your girth hitch here. Okay. The extra turn comes in when you loop it over a second time. Sorry, here, let me turn the camera down so I can articulate this a bit more. Okay, cool. So this is dirty, but this is essentially how it's going to look. Sorta, if I can get it here. They're gonna teach you little trades of the trick. Fuck, I can't do it. Okay. So your girth hitch with an extra turn is gonna look like this. Now, you're gonna tie it real taut. And this is how you're going to tie in stuff to the system, okay? I don't know why I demonstrated that. It's not my business. But anyway, so you're going to tie fake TNT, yeah, just TNT into this system, right? They're going to teach you all this stuff. You'll have plenty of time to practice it. You'll take home TNT to practice. You'll tie a demo knot, which is a Yuli knot, but it's just 4 wraps. So this is my TNT block here. This is remote, okay? You're gonna run this. This is gonna be your standing end. This is your running end, okay? You're gonna run this over like so. And you're gonna wrap it around. Then you're gonna take this end, your running end, and you're gonna shoot it to the back of the snake's head. Okay? Tie it real tight. Then you're gonna pull your standing end tight. So this is what a demo knot looks like. It's like this. And it's det cord. So det cord isn't explosive of itself, right? This is your TNT block. So then this end is gonna continue to tie into that system. So you're gonna have a full system of explosives that you're tying into. Really cool, really fun. I enjoyed it. They're gonna teach you how to tie some knots. You'll get comfortable with them, and you'll do them all night and all day. Hold on, stand by.